Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hopefully, y'all absorbed all four core elements so that y'all can see the amazing creatures that you truly are. All right, and now that I've gotten my old intro out the way, I wanted to talk a little bit about what it's like being a life coach from my POV. Okay? And it's going to be very short because I've always been a life coach that has been contracted and or just hired in corporate America or via the government, but in an intricate way with the government. Won't get too much into detail, not that it's classified or anything, just the logistics I don't feel like explaining, and I really just wanted to make this video interpersonal. But from my perspective, it's always funny that being a life coach to me, I always kind of correlate it with being an angel who is kind of within that limbo or, like that limbo phase. Let's just say that. Not that I am a bad being. I do know that I have worked on some of the, let's just say, sins, because to me, sins are just unlearned lessons that we just keep repeating until we learn the lesson and apply it so that we can move on. Hence the spiritualness of me. But outside of that, on the more positive or optimistic, well, just positive, because or optimism, I'm still looking at that in that sense. But it's kind of intriguing because I constantly am able to fulfill certain roles where I'm allowed to do duties within and outside of my role. Do I feel overworked? No. Do I feel unappreciated? No. But do I feel as if a lot of times I get sucked in or dragged or summoned or manifested within certain binary structures? Yes, and that in itself can be very exhausting for me because I'm not the type of being who picks sides. However, I do teach everyone that there are other ways to go about things, even if it is a collaborative task rather than I have to teach you how to do it yourself. And it's also intriguing that I can kind of gauge when my duty of call is coming to an end because I always get put into the used to. Because I've actually worked through and have now surpassed this one last hurdle that I needed to, which is, to me, it's a lesson within honesty, but it wasn't that I was more of the teacher than the student because it was a multi-layered situation. But I always know that my duty of call is coming to an end because right before I either level up or I'm allowed to, like move on, I was always put into this one scenario. It had nothing to do with age, even though for me, it did hit home hard of age rather than, other binary structures such as color or ethnicity and race, language, gender, yada, yada, yada. But I would always get put into these scenarios where I would have to like somewhat collaborate with someone who kind of emulates my antagonist or one of the biggest antagonists. Not that I have many, or had many, because now it's past. Folks don't realize that even angels have not only a duty, but are also learning lessons as they go. Life coaches are doing the same thing. And it's after, again, learning and teaching the lessons that I was meant to teach in this phase, which we can just call Q3 if it is corporate America. Sorry, Q4. Woo! I lied, baby, because we are going into a whole new year in a couple days. I have been able to, and I am blessed to have, gone through those lessons, because this is the quietest my mental state has been. This is the least stressed my body has felt. I've even noticed that I was able to relax so much that the tension in between my shoulder blades, I was able to decompress, and I actually heard the air bubble escape, or what we all know as crack, or pop. But it's something that I know that I get paid for, and I've already talked about this in a few videos prior. Money is a physical manifestation of our time plus energy. And on a quantum level, because I work through the psychological and the behavioral, but on a quantum level, I can kind of foresee the end of what that will look like. I'm not going to say I can see everything in the middle of it, other than like, I know I'm going to get this, I know I'm going to get that, and I know I'm going to have these. But that's because it's also intentional manifestation. But the ease that will go into it, rather than feeling like I have to trudge through a battlefield and make sure that I come across with the least amount of casualties, I feel like this is the one phase where I will have a flawless victory. So if you know anyone who is a life coach, and hopefully they operate the same way I do, and are able to tell you their story truthfully and transparently, because it is by the grace that I am able to still be here visibly and interact. And that's all I wanted to say. Love y'all. I'm gonna go exercise now, because I kind of switched. I weaned off of energy drinks, and I got the Nestea instant espresso. So that caffeine has kicked in, and I'm gonna do some exercises. I love you all. Hopefully you all continue to be amazing. If you ever need anything, never hesitate to reach out.